Delighted to be joined now by Dublin footballer Brian Howard. How are you, Brian?
I'm all good, thank you.
So we're here at the start of March. What are you doing at the moment in terms of getting by as a Dublin footballer? Are you still kind of feeling the end of pre-season? Are you still trying to find your way into full fitness, or what are you at the moment?
Yeah, trying to find my way back into good shape, and I know we haven't been back that long, so there's still a long way to go physically for me. So hopefully I'm going the right direction.
It's a good complaint to have that in March you're still finding your way into full fitness, because you've got to enjoy that off season, don't you? What did you get up to celebrate the five in a row?
There's a few special occasions, but no, it's just time to have a bit of time off, spend time with your family and friends, and that you might have seen for a long time throughout the season. But no, you have a bit of time to enjoy yourselves and go off on holidays and stuff like that. So it was well needed. But now we had to come back fairly fast after Christmas and get back into it.
Were those sessions the classic horrible pre-season sessions, or were you doing a bit on the side before that just to lessen the blow a small bit?
Yeah, well, I can speak personally and probably for most other players that when you're off, you're not really off. You're always thinking that you need to come back in decent shape. So you're trying to do, whether that's a few running sessions or gym sessions, you need to be taking along. And I know when you're not playing, players want to be playing, and when you are playing, you don't want to be doing all the running and stuff like that. But yeah, when you're not playing, you have to do stuff to make sure you're in decent shape.
It's interesting, actually, when you mentioned strength and conditioning there, and I guess whatever gym sessions or whatever it may be in the pre-season, how that's actually changed in the last even 3 or 4 years. That I guess about, if you go 5 to 10 years ago, I think bigger was better for GEA, whereas now it seems that people are slimming down a small bit, that speed used to be sacrificed a small bit. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, well, I don't know, to be honest. Don't know what the answer is. But
for you personally?
For me personally, there's different positions. You need your fast lads, you need your strong lads, you need a lot of versatility in the team. But for me, I sort of just have gone with the flow, sort of. Tried to get a bit bigger physically, and then obviously not neglecting the speed or other aspects of the game. So you try to get a nice balance of a bit of everything.
When you step into intercounty football, do you look around at your opposition players and your teammates and say, right, okay, I need to put on a bit more bulk and get with them? Because it never seemed for you that was ever an issue. With some young players who come in, you kind of say to yourself, right, a couple of years and they'll have their man strength. For you, it seemed like you had that before coming in with Dublin?
Yeah, so from under 21s, I probably wasn't that big. I might have maybe had a broad build or something, but when you go into something like a Dublin setup or a senior inter-county, whatever team it is, that there is that bit of onus on you to make sure that you are physically right, so that if that's put on a few kg or get stronger in the gym or get quicker or faster, whatever it may be, but obviously you're going to have to alter some things when you make that step up from juvenile to under 21s and up into senior.
We were chatting to you about 12 months ago, and I asked you what your best position was. You hadn't pinned down a position then at that point, which in a very positive way I think that was. Have you pinned down a position yet at this point as to which one your favourite position is?
No, I know I just love playing. That's the main thing for me, whether that's anywhere on the pitch. I just want to be out there kicking the ball around. So if that's corner forward or corner back, it doesn't make any difference to me really. But I know where the game's going now, you have to be adaptable and fluid regardless of what position you are, that things change, black card coming in, stuff like that you have to be adaptable.
There's been a lot of talk about who is the long-term partner of Brian Fenton in Dublin's midfield. Is that something that interests you?
Yeah, having the opportunity to play alongside Brian, in the past I have got the opportunity to, and it is an honour. But now there's still some players to come back now that potentially could fill that role. But that's not up to us to decide. It's up to the management, and hopefully they'll put the best player in that position.
What is it like partnering Fenton in midfield? What's it like? What's he saying to you during the game, and what's the partnership like?
Yeah, there's always a few sly digs, but no, it is. It doesn't feel like you're playing really it just looks like you're playing down St Anne's Park alongside them. That there is that bit of chemistry is in, that it's not just all serious. There is that bit of crack, and he's been a huge influence for me growing up. Coming into the team, he helped me a lot. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I owe him a lot. But when we're on the pitch, yeah, we have a job to do, but is that fun aspect is certainly there.
Yeah, that seems to be something that this Dublin team have got off to a tee at this moment, that when on the pitch there's an edge, there's an aggression which every top team needs to have, but then there's also kind of an appreciation for where you're at as a team and a smile on your face at certain moments, enjoying the off-season as we've already spoken about.
Yeah, all of us in the dressing room, we're privileged to get the opportunity to represent Dublin and put on the jersey, and it's not something that happens every day. So anytime you do get the opportunity, and you want to treasure it, and you don't want to let anyone down. So when we go out onto the pitch, that's our first priority, is to make sure that we're doing best for obviously the county in general. So no, yeah, the fun aspect's certainly there, but we do have other underlying goals and stuff we want to achieve as well.
What's Brian Fenton's biggest weakness?
Terrible sense of style. I don't know, like the chap, he's sort of a role model for a lot of people in terms of on the pitch, and people are trying to see where his weaknesses are, but I haven't found them yet. On the pitch, I certainly have a few weaknesses off the pitch, but now on the pitch,
that.
Yeah, I would, yeah. But now on the pitch, he's a brilliant player, and he's one of the top players around, but everybody has their weaknesses. Some have stronger A games than B games. So no, I can't really answer that. I don't really know, because I don't pay too much attention to him.
Right, so let's talk about this style issue off the pitch. How bad is it, and what can you do to address this problem?
I might give him a few tips. I try not to, but now he wouldn't be the most stylish player. So hopefully a few words of wisdom won't go astray from. And
is there a particular garment we're talking about here that he tends to look back on?
No, just his overall style wouldn't be the best. So whether that's gym gear or suits, like, he wouldn't really scrub up too well. But he'd kill me for saying that. But I know he does have a few nice outfits now, I must say.
There does seem to be a couple of fashionistas in the team, like Michael Darmacaulay. Is Mac Manaman into his fashion as well?
Yeah, everybody has their own different styles and let everyone off, but some are more into their style than others. Let's just say that, yeah. Yeah, well, did
I see, was it last year, the year before, after the Leinster final, you were all given basically a uniform to go out into the Coppers for the night, kind of like did you see the Manchester City thing last week when they were on? It actually reminded me of the Dubs, I think it was the 2018 Leinster final, so that's probably better for someone like Brian to actually have the sort of uniform for going out.
Yeah, somebody with a bit of taste can actually tell them what to wear.
I was chatting to you before we went on air there, and you're looking fresh for a man who played in that game in Omagh at the weekend. What was that like? What was the atmosphere like and the intensity of the game?
Given the circumstances, it was the atmosphere was actually quite good. Considering there probably wasn't that many people there with the weather, but no, on the pitch it was a great game. Both first and second half, it was a clean, competitive game, and unfortunately we came out the wrong end of it. But no, it was a great game, enjoyable game, even though people probably wouldn't say that because of the conditions. But no, it was a good challenge for us to test ourselves, and Tyrone as well. They say the exact same thing. Test different aspects of your game, your basic handling, your basic foot pass and kick pass, and so stuff like that was extremely tested, and you could really get a reflection of where you are at individually and collectively as a team on the basics.
Did you know that the game was going ahead all day? Because it seemed there was a lot of confusion even during the afternoon about whether or not this thing would go ahead.
Yeah, we knew it was going ahead, and we didn't have any doubts in our head. Obviously, going up on the bus when you're seeing the weather, obviously you're going to have question marks, but no, we knew very early on that it was going ahead, and then we were in the right mindset going into the game that wasn't going to be a pleasant game, but you had to obviously try to dig out a win from somewhere.
Yeah, it's never a pleasant game when you're up against Tyrone as well. They tend to make it very hard for the opposition. Like, we obviously saw what happened at half time inside in the tunnel. Do you know what sparked that or what happened down there?
No, So if you're watching the game, I actually sprinted off first. So I was in sitting down in the dressing room. So I didn't actually see what happened. Then when the lads came in, we obviously had another half. So it was straight back into the focus zone. And
So you were just sitting there in the dressing room, just listening to the
so
ruckus outside.
there was a few of us had already gone in. Then obviously when you hear a bit of commotion going on outside, you went out and had a look. But at that stage, whatever happened, I don't actually know, was all finished. So I just went back in. Then we had to focus on the second half.
Yeah, it's a strange one because they often have rules that like one team goes off the pitch first and then the other team has to wait to go off, especially in a ground like Healy Park when it's kind of closed and confined. Were Dublin the designated team to run off first on the night?
No. And I haven't been aware of any rules of what team goes off first. But no, and nothing like that. I know in my experience of playing, nothing like that has happened. So it's a very rare thing, and it was just whatever happened. It was just sort of just two teams two very competitive teams that have a bit of history, obviously in the final in 18, and competitive games up and all year, and we've seen to always be playing them in Super 8s and stuff like that. But no, it's just two competitive teams that we both love. Speaking from Dublin's perspective, we love playing Tyrone because they bring a different challenge, both physically and mentally, that you have to be in the right headspace.
Was there much needle during the game? Was there like any verbal jibes or anything like that?
No, and it was a clean game. A few yellow cards, but that was probably more down to sloppy tackling with the conditions. But no, there was no off the ball stuff, and it was a clean game from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. The Dean Rock effort is something that's gone viral. I think it's fair to say, going for a point and then it goes out over the sideline. Like, were you chatting to him after the game? Was there any of your? I'm trying to think. Was there any of your kick passes or anything that you're like, oh, I can't do anything about this?
Yeah, there was a few kick passes that were just well off, and he would have been off on any day, even in the sunshine and summer. But now Dean, I remember watching that from behind him. That any other day it would have been over the black spot, but when it goes out for a sideline, then you sort of have to be like, was it a bad effort? But now the conditions, the wind completely took it. But now we can't make any excuses for that because it was the same for both teams. So we had to adapt, but they just adapted better.
Yeah, like it's interesting as well when we think about everything that happened at half time, and we talk about these rivalries that perhaps spill over a little bit from time to time. We were kind of chatting about it on the show the other day. Your own clubmate Kieran Whelan had like obviously a cup of tea thrown at him a few years back against Meath. So some crazy things happen when you're in the heat of battle in this rivalry. Was that as heated a situation as you've ever seen? Granted, you only peeked your head out the door, but have you ever been involved in any situations like that?
No, because all the games I've been involved in been clean games, and there's nothing that is over the top, nothing too serious. But no, I think from what I've heard, it was just more just like pushing and a bit of shoving. But obviously it doesn't look great for either team or the sport in general. So but it is a rare event. So no, that's all I can say about that, because I don't actually, it's not point me saying because I actually wasn't there.
How is Leslie Farrell getting on?
Yeah, it's brilliant having him in this year. I got the opportunity to play under him. I know a lot of the other lads, so he's not a new face or a stranger to any of us. So and his backroom team. So having him there with his credentials in the past, having been so successful as a player and as a manager, it's brilliant to have his experience in the dressing room. How
close was your relationship before he became senior manager?
Yeah, it was good. I know when I went in after he was a big influence for me going into the senior team, because he was the one that got me confident, and when I was meeting him 1-to-1, he was giving me what I needed to hear to push me on, and thankfully that year we won the All-Ireland, so he was doing everything right, and then he pushed me on to go in the right direction into senior, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, those 1-to-1 conversations that Desi has been famed for doing down through the years, especially with underage players, sound so interesting. For you, what personally did he say to you that gave you that element of confidence that you speak about there?
I couldn't put my finger on one thing, but to hear the stuff that you're good at and hearing from a different person is huge, and that's in sports and off sports, that everybody's good at in their own way in different things, and hearing someone else noticed that and telling you that is huge. So that just gave me, when you sat me down, gave me that bit of confidence, and hearing it from someone else really pushed me on. And I might have been low in confidence and not performing well, and I had the chat, and then the next few games it really helped me, and I was confident going forward.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because we can sometimes get so bogged down in the negatives, and you're not doing that right. And to get better, we need to focus on those negatives. Where actually sometimes the improvement may come from saying you're really good at high fielding or whatever it may be, and all of a sudden you have a bit more confidence to leap and make that next catch and show your high fielding. Like, I think the positivity and pushing home the positive attributes is something that helps every young player.
Yeah, because everybody has their strong points and obviously their weaker points. So I know for me, I do get bogged down on the weaker points because they're the ones that you need to improve on. But it's just as important to develop the stronger skills of your game, because they're the things that have got you there in the first place. And then if you can develop the stronger with the weaker, that's going to be a huge benefit for you going forward.
Well, listen, Brian, it's been a pleasure chatting to you. Best of luck for the rest of the league. Hopefully you won't have to play in too many conditions like Healy Park on Saturday.
Perfect. Thanks, William.